Welcome inside the WVU Nation's Coaches Report. Ryan Mayer with Coach Kristina Hernandez of the Hofstra Pride volleyball team. Coach, a tough week for your team last week. Let's start off with the Long Island match. You get swept in that match, as many attacking errors as kills. What do you attribute all of those errors to against the Long Island team?
I think our passing really broke down in that match, and it made it really difficult for us to do very much, except set the outside. And Long Island's a good team, and they're well coached, so they just kind of overloaded the block on the outside, and it made it really difficult for us to do anything else. It really just came to how well we were passing, and we it was just really difficult to do anything else, besides run the outside. So. And even that, it's more, high ball offense, so which is something that, it's not one of our strengths, but one of our strengths is, our speed, and we have to be able to pass well to do that.
Now, Coach, after a loss like that, that's an out-of-conference game going into the weekend CAA slate. What were you saying to your team to try and make sure that they didn't let down or get too down about that loss?
It's just one of those things. You kind of got to shake it off, and you got to get moving. It's a non-conference match, and as much as we wanted to go in there and play really well, it's something that we kind of got to move on and be better from. But Friday, I think we played Georgia State. I think the big thing was just how many our serving and our passing was just definitely not where it needed to be this entire weekend, and I think that was really a big difference for us.
Yeah, and you talk about that Georgia State match. It's a team that had the preseason Player of the Year in Denise Verdun coming in. What did you see from them that allowed them to play so well against your team?
They passed really well, and they were able to give her the ball a lot off of serve receive, and I don't think we did a really good job of kind of watching her and following her. That's something that we had in our game plan, and then we didn't execute that very well, so it made it a lot difficult for us. But even at the end of that, when it came down to it, we missed a lot of serves at really important times, and we had 7 serve receive errors, and unfortunately, when we're playing better teams in the conference, we can't do that if we expect to win matches. So.
And then on Sunday, UNC Wilmington comes into the PEB. You go up 2 sets to nothing, and then UNC Wilmington ends up coming back to win the match. What happened between the first 2 sets and the last 3?
The last 3, I think we were just really sloppy, and the things we were doing well in the first 2 sets, we didn't do very well. In the third set, we had plenty of opportunities to close it out, and we had 2 serving errors, in game point, and that's something that we cannot do. And then the last 2 points in that third set were us hitting the ball out and us hitting in the net. So, it's more about what we're doing right now rather than, teams actually beating us. And then the same thing in the fourth and the fifth, we were just really sloppy with serve, receive, and passing. And, I think we had 12 serving errors in that match. And it's just really hard to come back from and be able to expect to, do anything else. It just gives you very little room to do any other kinds of mistakes like attacking errors and, blocking errors and things like that. So it just made it a lot more difficult for us to do what we want to do.
Now, coming out of a week like that where you suffer some tough losses, what do you tell your team going into practice this week in order to make sure that you're up and ready to go again for JMU, the leader in the conference at the moment?
We want to make it very clear to them why why this week was kind of sloppy, which is, again, the serving and passing, and we want to make it clearly defined that, that is our focus, and that's what it needs to be. I think we have been hitting well. I think we hit 200 that match, which is good. We've definitely won games with hitting at a lesser percentage than that, but we cannot miss that many serves. I think in even the third set in Wilmington, we missed 5 serving, 5 serves, and that's just easy points that we're giving away, and so that's really going to be the focus, this week, is really concentrating on that and making sure that we kind of set a higher standard for ourselves and hold ourselves to that, and just concentrate on that. And that'll be the difference for us in winning matches, and that's what we need to focus on right now.
Now, talking about JMU coming up this weekend, as I said, the leader in the conference at the moment at 4-1 in the CAA. What have you seen from them when looking at the tape in terms of what they like to do, what their strengths are, and maybe what some of their weaknesses are that you guys can attack?
They've got a really good outside, and I remember her from last year, and she's going to hit us on the sharp angle, which is something that Wilmington did really well against us. And she's going to hit the line and the seam. So we just really have to make sure that we're ready to make adjustments defensively with what they're going to do with us. And then what we need to do is we really just have to we really have to produce more on our right side attack. I don't think we're doing that. We didn't do that very well this week, and that's something that's a big part of our game that kind of spreads it out for our middles and our outsides. And, our middles did a really good job this weekend, I think. They really got in there and they produced offensively, but we really have to get the right side going. The block out there is a little bit weaker, and, we have to be able to, put some balls down on that side of the pen in order for us to spread our offense out.
Now, Coach, speaking of that right side, on Sunday in the match against UNC Wilmington, a bit of a change in the starting lineup for you. Anna Kittlar comes in rather than Taylor Moore. What was the decision-making process in terms of putting Anna Kittlar in for her first start of the season?
Taylor kind of had a little rough week. She wasn't really putting up any numbers for us, and she wasn't blocking. So, we really just needed to make a change to see if we could score some more points. Either one, whether it be offensively or blocking-wise. And, like I said, right now we really have to, have some offense going on the right side. So, we'll kind of see how it goes out for practice this week. But I think, we just need to have some more options there if it's not working for us to be able to, kind of change it up a little bit. But we definitely, we need more from Taylor right now, and we'll see if Anna can do anything, from here on out. But I think we're just going to keep going back and forth and kind of see what happens. But it's really important for us, and just blocking wise, and being able to put up some numbers. So, yeah.
Now, Coach, with everything that happened this past week, you guys sit at 2 and 3 in the CAA, but in that 6th spot, which after the CAA changed the rules this year would still be good enough to make the postseason if the season ended today. Obviously, it does not. But what do you need to do in order to stay in that top 6 in the conference moving forward throughout the rest of the CAA slate?
We've got to serve and pass well. I think everything else we're doing, doing all right. Our offense is, it's not maybe as much as we would like, but I think on different nights people are having good games, and it's helping us stay in matches. When we're getting more kills than most of our opponents when we're playing. But we really have to minimize our errors sometimes in a few sets, and I think our side-out percentage needs to be a little bit better. I think Wilmington, we were kind of in the 50-60 range, and we need to be a lot better than that. Make it a lot easier. We're usually up there in like the 65-70 range, and it makes games a lot easier for us. But the serving and the passing has really just got to kind of be tightened up a little bit and make things a lot easier on us. And if we do that, we can. The rest of our game kind of just folds into itself, and it kind of works and goes on all cylinders. So that's really, like I said, it's really the focus, and it's really something that we need to be better at.
Now, Coach, coming through the last part of this CAA slate, you start to see a lot more road matches going down to James Madison and William & Mary and VCU. What do you tell your team, and how do you prepare for that tough road conference, those tough road conference matches?
We've got to practice well this week. We have to go in there and know and be confident in what we're doing, and we've got to be rested, and we've got to be ready to go. And I think it's just kind of worrying about what we're doing on our end and making sure that we're prepared. That way, we can go and play away. I don't know if, we've lost some road matches in the midweek, but, we've been out to Cali and we won some games. So, I don't think we really look at it like we're not really great away. I think, we're either going to be ready to go or we're not, and I think that's going to be, making sure that we're ready to go when we leave this weekend.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you for joining me inside the WB Mason Coaches Report.
Thank you.